Hey guys, today we're going over the game of Blackburn versus Blanchard, London 1981. Okay, so basically, what's good about going over these games is this was an incredible game. You'll see an incredible game played, and also I'm going to explain why every move was played. And the reason you want to watch a lot of videos like these or read books like this is because the more you watch games and you see a master play a good move, that will get ingrained in your head what move to play. And also, when you see a move played and you hear the reason why it was played, okay, or commentary on that move, that really helps you improve, okay? So, the game started e4, okay, which is basically, opening up queen and bishop, getting ready to castle, okay, e5, okay, and then white played f4. Now, basically, it's an offer of a pawn to induce black to surrender his share of the center, because if black takes the pawn, white will at some point be able to play d4 and control the whole center. So it's a gambit. It's risky, okay? It is the king's gambit, but it also will help white. It also will open up the F file here that when white castles, his rook will attack there, his bishop will come there, and he'll try to get an attack with the development, extra development, and stuff. However, black does not play the pawn and plays bishop c5. Now, the point of bishop c5 is that once white is ready to castle, he'll find it hard to do so because he needs to block that bishop before he can castle, because obviously you can't castle into check. Okay? That is the best way. If you're ever playing the King's Gambit and you want to decline it, okay, play bishop c5. Now, white comes out with knight to c3. Again, a strong move. Okay, he doesn't want to play f takes e5 because queen h4 check and the game is over. Okay, if he blocks, it's just check, blocks, take the rook, or if he tries to move his king, queen will come in and checkmate. So if this happens to you, you cannot play e takes f5. Okay, knight c3 is a strong move. Okay, knight c6. Knight c6 is a simple move, okay? It exerts pressure on here, and it prepares to play more aggressively in the future. Okay? Knight takes knight to f3. White could not have won material by f takes e5, knight takes e5, d4 with a seeming fork, okay? Because d6. If x takes e5, d6, okay? And black offers the pawn back because he will have the development this time, kind of like a counter gambit. Now, black plays e4, e takes f4, which is not a great move, okay? Because you don't want to move a pawn on a piece. He surrenders the center. He wasted time, and he permits white to seize the center. Obviously, white plays d4, okay? Gaining time on the bishop and seizing the center, okay? That is a great move. The bishop comes to b4. The reason of this move is to attack, but it would have been sounder to retreat to e7, probably. Okay, so white gets the bishop out and regains his pawn. We're now even in material. Obviously a great move. Black plays d5. He wants to try to attack the center, which is basically what you want to do. If your opponent has a strong center, you want to counter back in the center, okay? But, okay, white will usually push e5. However, that's good because you've weakened these squares here, but also your knight is now weakened there. So you're going to have to do something against that, okay? Black plays bishop takes c3, okay? Giving Blackburn doubled pawns. However, though, he's relaxing the pressure. The knight was pinned and could do no harm. There's no point in taking it yet. Okay? Obviously, white takes back. Okay? Now, bishop to e6. Okay? That is probably not a great move because it really doesn't fight for control of the center, although it does defend his pawn. Okay? Bishop to d3 by white. That is an excellent move because it attacks that side, and it has a lot of space. Black responds h6. Apparently to prevent like knight to coming to g5 or bishop to d5. However, okay, it's not a great move because he's wasting time with a pawn, and it loosens the pawn structure around his king. If you can avoid loosening the structure around your king, you should do so. White castles. Okay? It's always good to castle when you have the chance. Okay? He gets his king safe and secures the rook on a file, which can penetrate through right to the king. Okay? Knight g to e7 by black. Not the happiest spot for the knight, but it needs to get into the game. Rook b1 from white. Okay? Obviously with an attack on b7, and also it's coming to an open file, which is, you always want rooks on open files. b6 defends the pawn. However, it weakens the knight, and his own rook is going to have a tough time getting in the game. Queen to d2. Another strong move by white. 0-0. Black castles and gets his rook kind of out, but the difference between his castle and white's castle is that black is walking right into a storm. Like, all of white's pieces are pointing this way. It's probably not a good idea to castle into an attack. Okay, never castle into an attack. And right away, Blackburne played bishop. Sorry. I've got to go back here a bit. I've led you guys astray. White played queen to d2, which is even worse. I didn't even realize that. Never castle if you see this, because obviously right away, Blackburne played this, sacrificing a bishop for 2 pawns, but now look how open black's king is. Okay? There's really not much. Now white just has to finish off the attack. Black goes knight g6, trying to get a little defense. Knight to g5, threatens mate on h7, okay? A good defensive move. Rook comes to e8. That is, you don't have to defend this all the time. You can open up an escape square for your king. However, he is not in a great position. Rook takes f7. Bishop takes f7. And now queen h7. King f8. Queen takes f7 mate. A great combination by Blackburne to win the game.